excited.
Yeah.
It's a new chapter for them, for us as well. We're expanding our family. Feel good because they did it the right way. So I'm actually proud of them.
Good. Yeah, he's a really good dude from what I've seen, and very fit, likes to hike and things like that.
Yeah.
So looking forward to seeing that almost like hiking in some islands and the mountains.
We're going to hike in the morning.
All right, hello. We are back. This is Tone and Trae
Yes.
and the Carver Ave Chronicles podcast. On the road.
Yes, we are.
Finally in person. But we're in Asheville, North Carolina. We had a big day today.
A really big day today.
Yeah, it's been a day.
Yeah.
But figured we get a podcast episode in person. So your daughter got married. How do you feel?
Excited.
Yeah.
It's a new chapter for them,
Yeah.
for us as well. We're expanding our family. Feel good because they did it the right way. So I'm actually proud of them.
Good. Yeah, he's a really good dude from what I've seen, and very fit, like to hike and things like that.
Yeah.
So looking forward to see what that honeymoon's like. Them hiking in some island somewhere with mountains.
They're going hiking in the morning.
I figured as much. All right, but yeah, we are back, and I just want to talk about what a lot of people are going through right now. A lot of people are struggling.
Yeah.
You know, the struggle's real.
It's real.
A lot of people I know have either lost their homes or apartment, or they're on the verge of losing their home because they can't afford to pay rent, things like that. Cars being repossessed, or people having just, not be able to be there for their kids like they really want.
Right.
Kids can't really go out and do things because mom got to go eat.
Right.
Not she has to go work so they can eat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, a lot of people that are depressed because of that.
Right.
I'm sure you probably see this in your circle as well.
Oh, yeah.
As far as like people just really going through right now. It's tough. I mean, a lot of people are working 2, even 3 jobs. So they got a side hustle and a job. And or they, got a main job and just trying to run their business the best they can. And, it's really tough out here. So give me your thoughts on what you see, what you're going on your end. And especially being in the church, how much do you see that in the church? People like maybe even trying to come to y'all for help.
Well, we get that quite often. Because the community that our church is in is pretty much, you have a mixture. You have them that are already homeless, and then we serve the community through outreach as far as giving away food and clothing. So we have a lot of people in our area who are actually living in abandoned apartments with no lights.
Wow.
Yeah. Or either they're actually living there with no lights. You know what I'm saying? So, and they say the same thing, the struggle is real. They're either having a hard time finding a job or can't keep a job, I hate to say it that way, but it's really bad in that particular city.
Yeah, Danville. Well, Danville, yeah. Even in
we know.
Yeah. Even in Indianapolis, it's where I work, they do a homeless outreach and food pantry, things like that. And I actually went to see what the homeless outreach was about, and some of these people just look like they were one paycheck away from something going wrong or injury or a layoff. I mean, like, they didn't look like they were somebody that was on drugs or alcohol, but like just literally just bad luck, and they just couldn't catch a break. And I know it's tough. A lot of people, I know some people give to everybody. Yeah. And you give to the point where you don't have anything. Right? So it's like, at what point do you sit back and say, okay, I'm not trying to be selfish here, but in this economy we're living in, I just can't do it.
I agree. That's where we are right now. So what I've done is I did some homework for the people that I do run across. So I found different churches and different places that help with food, lights, rents, and this, that. I want to be a resource for them. So even though I can't, it's not, like with our hours getting cut and this, that, the third, when our household is affected, how can we serve others?
Right.
So, like right now, where I'm at is we got to take care of us.
Yeah.
And many people don't understand my situation. My husband can go blind at any point in time, and then what? That's a whole income. Yeah. And he makes the bulk of the income in the house. So it's not easy to help others all the time. It's not that we don't want to. We do, but we see what we can do and what we can't do. And my thing is, I don't mind helping you 3 times, but after that, let's see what the problem is.
Right.
Because now it's becoming a habit. It's a cycle for you.
Right.
And it needs to be broken.
Yeah. But that's the biggest thing. The biggest thing is people getting these ruts. Yeah. Right. And they expect a handout.
Right.
Hey, can I borrow?
Yeah. I get it.
And it's like, okay, like you said, 1, 2, maybe 3 times.
Yeah.
But it's like after that, it's like, okay, hold on. What are you doing to like make sure you have this extra that you're asking me for?
Right.
A lot of times it's cutting off that streaming service.
Yeah.
It's stopping the Starbucks or going out to eat.
McDonald's and Chick-fil-A.
Whatever. Like, it's just, but going back to the outreach thing, so like, I seen that portion of it. And then they talk about the food pantry and how they serve like almost 300 people. Families, basically. That's a lot. I mean,
that's a lot of people.
That's a lot. Obviously, Indianapolis is a big city. Oh, yeah. Basically, you're talking close to 2 million people in the metro area, but it's like 300. I mean, that's a lot of people. And then, going back to the homeless thing, like you go to some of these like off the highway and like the tent cities, or they're in the woods and they have actual like they look like houses, but they've constructed out of materials or a tent or whatever the case may be, and not just a grown man or woman. You're talking kids are in some of these places. Yeah. I mean, it's wild.
It is.
And I know a lot of people are depressed and they get down. It's like, okay, so how do I get up out of this? It's one day at a time, one step at a time.
It really is. It really is.
I mean, the same way it took that one check or that one incident or the car breaking down, you make a decision. It's still like, okay, I'm working. What can I do to better my situation? How can I do it? I mean, obviously you feel like you're because let's say you got evicted. There has to be some way to get around that. Not saying you can get around it completely, but we got to figure out a way to, get back on our feet, get into another apartment or another home. And it's just baby steps. Is it a situation where you need to work on your credit first? Like for me, that was my thing. I've slept in my car before. I've slept in a hotel. You know what I mean?
Been there.
But one of the things that I said was, I won't be like this always. Yep. And I made it, listen to the audience here, I made it my intention to fix my credit first. Yeah. That was the biggest thing. Yeah. Now, obviously, I needed to work out of that situation I was in, and it worked out. Yeah. But I was like, I just don't want to feel like I just can't get ahead. Yeah. And unfortunately, the credit plays a big part now.
It really does. It really does.
So you got to make sure you're good on that. And just, literally just taking those steps and being intentional. Not just saying, okay, woe is me. I just can't figure it out. Or, everything keeps going wrong or whatever. I get it. Life going to keep life.
It is.
But you can't expect everybody to bail you out neither.
Right. What are you going to do? Yeah.
What are you going to do to change your situation?
Yeah, because it can change. Like we had one lady who, she was homeless, but she was living with, family or whatever. So when she began to share with me her story, I said, pay all your bills up. What is keeping you from getting in place? Take care of those things first. So if that means pay your light bill off, pay it off. It doesn't make you have a place yet, but you're going to need them lights when you do get a place. Right. So why not take care of your business while you're with somebody else? So therefore, when you're on your house hunting search, you'll be ready.
Absolutely. Don't
wait.
Yeah, don't take somebody for granted and think that, they got me or whatever
you never know.
Because, you might be putting a strain on what they got.
Right.
And it might not even be a financial thing. It could be more of they're not comfortable because they can't really live like they want to live. You know what I mean? Yeah. It can create a bad situation down the road.
It's true.
But you're right. It's just literally, like for me, I feel like if you're faced with a situation where is live with somebody that you really don't want to be with. It could be a bad relationship. It could be a family member that you really don't care for because y'all ain't really that tight, but you're just trying to make things work. Or going to a shelter.
Right.
Surviving that shelter for 1, 2, maybe 3 months. Right. Some places can get you into something.
Quicker. Yeah, depending on your city.
You have to humble yourself sometimes.
You do.
And
you do.
I feel like my independence and freedom is more important than me sitting here in unhappiness.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because that adds even more onto the depression.
It does.
Because you're sitting here like, oh, woe is me, I can't do anything right, and now I got to sit here and deal with this. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you're dealing with. It's just, man, it's a lot.
It is.
It's a lot.
It is.
And I think the biggest thing that people need to hear is everybody's going through it. I mean, like, literally, it's, again, somebody, you got one job, 2 jobs, someone got 3 jobs, they got a job and they trying to hustle their business, or they got some what do they call, under the table thing they're doing, or whatever. Like, but man, and then sometimes it's like, you're doing all this, but you still living the same.
Right.
Like, you're not making any sacrifices to try to better your situation. And I'm like, okay. Sometimes, in your case, you right now you need a car, right? I know somebody that got a brand new car but lost their place.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I'm trying to understand, why did you get a new car and you just lost your place?
Yeah. To me,
I'm just totally baffled. I don't. But maybe the situation was like yours. They need a new vehicle. I don't know. I thought the other vehicle was fine.
I'm supposed to be like, I have to get to work.
You have to get to work, but then
I have to sleep in my car.
You and your child.
I know. I get it. I get it. Yeah.
So
my thing in mind has you have to have a shift in your mind. Whatsoever man thinketh in his heart, to me, so is he, as the scripture says. So when you're going through all this stuff, what are you thinking about? Think about what you're thinking about. So therefore, your actions can line up with your thoughts.
Right.
That's just my thing of it all. I mean, I'm not sure what they would think about that point.
Yeah, and to be honest, to be fair, I don't know the full story about that. I didn't think anything was wrong with the last vehicle. It wasn't like it was an old beater or something. I just feel like it was a thing where I'm just tired of what you know.
Yeah.
Maybe it was a situation where it's temporary happiness. Like this is gonna, I feel good about this right here, but you're still stuck in your situation.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. That's one thing I'm learning. Cause even with my situation, yes, I have a place to stay and all that good old stuff, but I want a new car. But I know the timing is not now to get a new car, because my main concern is staying in my place.
Right.
Why add on another bill when I know I can't afford it? So then when if hours get cut once again, now I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do. I don't want to be in this situation again.
Right.
So that's why now we have to learn how to start saving.
Absolutely.
We have to save for rainy days. Absolutely. I don't care if it's $5 here. I can hear the person now. Well, what about having anything to save? Write out everything that you got coming in, and where's that money going? That's what you need to do. You need to figure out where your money is going, and there are ways you can save.
Yeah, absolutely. Again,
so when
it's cutting off the streaming service.
Yeah.
It's cutting off the Starbucks. It's cutting off whatever they going out to eat. Whatever, anything you indulge in is cutting out. Maybe grabbing a drink or a smoke or whatever the case is. Like, look, cut back and put some of that money away.
Yeah.
Even if you're saving $50 a month.
Right.
That's $600 a year.
Yeah, it's
right.
Something.
It is something. So I mean, $600 a year. You do that long enough. 10 years, you're talking $6,000. So now you got $6,000 saved up, all by doing $50 a month.
Right.
I mean,
but you never know what's going to happen. You never know what's going to happen.
Never know. And while the struggle's real, and obviously people be like, "Oh, I'm gonna play the lottery. I'm gonna hit and all this stuff." That's great. That's wonderful. Yeah. That's cute.
That's just not
but sometimes you can get caught up in that and spending unnecessary money
Right.
that could go towards something else as well.
Right.
Go towards gas
Yeah.
or maybe buying a pack of ramen noodles or something.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's just I don't know. It's just something I want to talk about because it's just man, people are really going through it.
Oh yeah, they are. Like I
it
said,
is tough out here.
I know some people right now that they're really close to us. Like I said, they're going through the very same thing, and it's been years that they have been homeless.
Whew.
Years.
Wow.
A few years.
Wow.
And we tried to help, but once again, you have to change your mindset. You have to, I get because like I said, I've been there, so I understand what it does, to you and how it affects you. However, you have to think about the next step, or either you have to think about your children.
Yeah.
Because this is a pattern we're also creating for them.
Yeah. Absolutely. Because if they think that that's reality, then they're gonna settle,
right,
and not really work hard for things
right,
because they feel like, okay, well, I just need enough, just enough to get by. It's man.
But I said that because my daughter moved every year. She'll move from one apartment to another. I'm like, why do you keep doing that? You're unstable. That's just me.
Right.
That's just me. Then the first thing she brought up was how many times we was homeless. So she was used to going from house to house. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So that's why I said we have to understand what we're creating even for our children.
Right.
Yes, she had a place to stay, but still you're moving every year. Why?
Right.
Why?
Yeah.
And that's what she said.
Man.
Because she's so used to always moving.
Generational curses.
Not right.
Yeah,
so we have
curses.
to break that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean,
it's amazing how many generational curses there are. Mm-hmm. There's that mentality of, well, I was born in the hood, raised in the hood, so all I'm used to is being in the hood.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then it's that, because we did the same thing.
Yeah.
We were little like moms, she was in project to project.
Yeah.
And we finally settled for a little bit in Virginia Beach, but Carver Avenue, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was wild. I mean, now I didn't take that mentality, and that's just, every time we talk about stuff, I'm like, okay, it makes sense. I don't think I've moved like that. I know I didn't. I try to stay. Yeah. I know I try to stay somewhere at least a couple of years, something like that. But wow.
And in reality, at the city of Jermaine, when my kids actually, my kids help me out a lot, guys. They really have. Mom, we always moving, blah, blah, blah. So now my first thing is I'm paying my rent, lights, and that's my main focus right now. Because I want to create that stability for them, to let them know we don't have to always keep living like this.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
But didn't realize that it was still, you know what I'm saying? They were still going through it, but in their own way. Didn't realize you still picked up the habit.
You picked up the habit.
You didn't,
Yeah, that's and it's crazy because everybody talks about breaking that curse, generational curse.
Yeah.
And it's wild because I know I've done some of the same things that our father did.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And not so much on the living part. I think I've done a little bit better on that end.
Yeah.
Try to anyway. Now, but just certain things is like, oh man, you know what I mean? So I get it. But back on the topic of struggling, I don't know. I mean, I just want anybody that's out there that's listening or watching this just to don't get discouraged.
Yes, keep hope.
The biggest thing is don't get discouraged. You're not the only one going through. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that makes it good or it makes you feel good or anything, but just know that, other people was like grinding this thing out. And it's like you have to just figure out what works for you and don't be afraid to maybe take a chance you wasn't willing to take.
Right.
Sometimes you can do something different.
You do.
I mean, if you have nothing else to lose, you got to just go ahead and try something new.
Yeah.
If there's opportunities there or a better opportunity for you, you got to take it.
You got to take it. You got to take it.
You got to take it. Take a chance on it. So, leap of faith, as they call it, right?
Yeah.
Leap of faith.
Faith without works is dead.
Faith without works. That's the biggest part. So even
Right.
if it's a leap of faith, there's got to be some action behind that.
Yeah.
For sure. For sure. But that's the biggest thing is don't get discouraged.
Right. Yeah.
I think the one thing you talk about is a plan of action.
Oh, yeah.
But with a plan of action.
Yeah, I'm very big on having a vision. Because like I said, we've been there. And it's been about probably like 4 years ago we was homeless. We had a house fire. But we was homeless for 7 months.
But when you say homeless, are you talking about like where you staying in a hotel?
A hotel
okay.
for 7 months.
Okay.
Months.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I get it. I've been there and done it. No, I'm not
and we had to move into a mobile home, which I was trying to avoid at all costs. But why I'm saying that is sometimes you have to just go ahead and whatever door God opens for you, just go ahead and take it. You know what I'm saying? So we had to crawl. You know, nobody didn't want to live in the you know, it was a double wide, but still. But I needed a place to stay for my kids.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I had to just go ahead and just tough
it
up and do what I have to do.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no, I get that.
So, back to what I was saying about the vision part. My thing is write the vision, make it plain. Where do you want to go? And even like I said, even if you have to make baby steps, you have to have a direction. Where are you going to go?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? How much can you afford? You know what you got coming in, and so therefore you know what's going to be going out, and how much how many times the rent do you need? Because nowadays it's like 3 times the rent, sometimes 4. 3 times the rent,
yeah.
You know,
4. I ain't heard that one yet. Woo. That's wild. 4 times the rent.
We looked into a house, yes. And I was like, who makes that much?
Somebody does.
I mean, yeah, I know they do it. You know what I'm saying?
Somebody does.
I'm like, oh my God.
It's a lot of stuff.
But I asked more questions. They said multiple. They did accept multiple.
Incomes.
Mm-hmm.
So they counted more. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, only do that because sometimes some of these places want both people to make 3 times the rent, which is really ridiculous.
Right.
It's like, well, if I'm making 3 times by myself, well, I need to have this person with me here for.
Right.
I mean, obviously, you're in love, you're married, whatever. I get it.
Yeah.
Some of these things are just ridiculous, and people
really
are taking advantage of the system.
They really are.
They really are. But
they really are.
I know. Like a lot of these apartment complexes and stuff.
Mm-hmm. They make it hard.
They make it hard.
Like I said, I know people who have 2 jobs, and still are having a hard time getting a place.
But it could be the credit part.
I didn't think about that. I didn't even ask that part.
Yep. That's the reason why I mentioned credit
I forgot
to
about
begin
that part.
with.
I didn't even ask that part.
That's the reason why I mentioned the credit. Because I knew when I restarted my journey, that was going to be crucial for me.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I have to make sure I get my credit straight.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be just that. It could be that they might have a good rental history, or maybe they didn't, because that's something else too.
Yeah,
if they got evicted, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If that's going to pop up, that's going to be an automatic.
Yeah.
So you got that.
You got those who got felons too. That was my problem.
That
was my biggest problem. We had the credit, we had the money, but we had the felony. Yeah.
Right. The past
Imagine that, So how many people have felonies now,
Right. Yeah,
so that's another thing too that's keeping a lot of people from getting a place. Even them that have children. And it's sad.
It is sad. That's why, like I was telling my son, he has some stuff going on, and I was like, the one thing you don't want to do is mess up a good job or career.
Yeah.
Behind fooling with smoking weed,
right,
being around, that stuff. You know what I mean?
It's not worth it.
And that's just it. Sometimes that one bad decision can alter your life later.
Right. That's true.
So now you can't get a place.
Right.
You can't really
even a job. Some jobs don't even allow.
You end up in a situation where you're either in a kitchen or you're in a warehouse.
Right.
You're very limited.
You really are.
You're very limited. So. Make good choices, guys.
Yeah.
Don't be discouraged.
Right.
Biggest thing, come up with a plan of action. And just take it one day at a time. Like,
this too shall pass.
The one thing you can't do, the one thing I always try to live by is I can't stress stuff I can't change.
Right.
I can only do what I can do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, obviously, with that being said, again, that's where that plan of action comes in. Okay. I might not be able to buy a house this year,
Right.
but maybe in a year or two,
Yeah.
I might be in a position to do something.
Yep.
That's up to me to make myself in that
Right.
position to do it.
Right.
So it's about,
Right.
being intentional about those goals and working towards
Right.
those
Right.
goals and not just like settling
Mm-hmm.
for whatever the case may be because you feel like that's the best you can do.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
And do your research. There's nothing wrong with going to see, okay, what are the qualifications for me, becoming a homeowner or
Oh,
to rent a
absolutely.
house,
Well, especially if
the
you're
third.
a first time home
Yeah,
buyer.
so
Absolutely.
whatever it is you're trying to get into, do your research on it so you can be prepared.
Right. That's the biggest part.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the biggest part. So, but yeah, the struggle's real. People are going through it. Other than that, it's been crazy. This week's been crazy politically. We ain't gonna really go there. So, it's about the struggle. Somebody's struggling when it comes to that politics stuff.
Gosh.
But yeah, that's about it. But yeah, guys, it's definitely, like I said, don't get discouraged.
No.
Don't beat yourself up.
Mm-mm.
Don't try not to stay in that depression too long.
No.
Figure out a course of action.
Mm-hmm.
Work that plan of action.
Mm-hmm.
And talk to somebody.
Oh yeah.
Talk to somebody. See if anybody's willing to help.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I think it's a thing where people are ashamed.
Right. That's
I don't want to be a burden.
I don't want to mind my business.
Exactly.
That's true. Yeah.
And it's like, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you gotta have no shame. You gotta be like,
right.
because you don't know where your blessing will come
from. Right.
Somebody might bless you with a house. So you know what? I got a house I can't get rid of, and I don't really want it. And
you don't know.
Yeah, you might got to fix up a little bit, but here you go.
Yeah.
you just never know.
You never know.
Closed mouths don't get fed.
Right.
For sure.
So that happened to us one time. We was offered a house. We was actually offered 2 houses.
Oh wow!
But I didn't want to move back to Virginia.
Mm-hmm. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Man, see, but
I know because my kids were still in school.
Yeah, but you would have had some property.
I mean, my mind wasn't thinking about that. My baby was about ready to graduate, and she wanted to graduate with her class. So you still.
I know we always sacrifice. I know.
Yeah.
I mean. He could have stayed in Danville. You could have stayed in Greensboro, whatever, and y'all could have had some property.
I know, Lord. Yeah. Hey, we made a lot of mistakes. I'm not gonna say we did. We did.
I mean, it's fine.
We live, we learn.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we live, we learn, and that's it. But yeah, because you
just never know where your blessing will come from.
Never know where your blessing will come from. So just stay prayed up, and speak it into existence.
Right. Speak those things that be not.
Speak it. Because sometimes a lot of things that I've done, I've actually spoke it. I spoke it, but I also made sure I started working towards it. I didn't just speak it and be like, God, can you like, nah, like, can you? And then I actually started working towards it. And sometimes inadvertently, I would just walk right into it. Yeah. But then I had to realize, well, you said you wanted to do this. Right. That's true. So, yeah. Because
that's what we did. My husband said he wanted a house. I told him, this time, you go look for it. Because as I forestated, he had a felony. Because I'm like, where are we going to go with this? But lo and behold, he was walking home, and he ran across the house that was for rent, talked to the lady about it, and
there it was.
And there it was. Yeah. So we was out there mobile home in, less than 2 years.
Yeah. Private owner.
Yeah, she was. Yeah.
Looking for private owners, guys.
She still did a background check, and so she said. My husband said there's no way, so we just believe that was no by God.
Right. Yeah. Some people if you have the money, they'll overlook all the rest, and they'll look. Like, oh, you got the first month deposit. Oh yeah. First month deposit. Yeah, we'll take you. So that was a blessing. Yeah. So you just never know. Never know.
But you got to go out there and do the work.
Absolutely. Got to do the work.
They say no, you keep going. Maybe they won't meant to be.
That
That's
part.
how I look at it.
But see, there it goes. It goes back to that mindset of you have to have that mindset of, okay, maybe this wasn't the opportunity that was for me. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes we look at that and be like, man, well, what was wrong with me? What? But I look at it now like some things wasn't meant.
Right.
And then when it's your time, it's your time.
Yeah. It's not now.
It's not now. Sometimes you might have to settle for that mobile home until you can get that 2-story, nicer home. So
and that's I had to humble myself.
You gotta humble
You
yourself.
know?
Sometimes you gotta just like accept that, whatever blessing you get,
Yeah.
and just be intentional and work towards
Yeah.
it. So we gotta cut it short, guys. We are on the road, on location.
Yes.
So once again, if you're struggling, going through it, I know I'm going through it. Lord knows, transition to a new city and having to pay out more money. Woo! So yeah, I get it, guys. But yeah,
Yeah.
just stay encouraged. Encourage others and try to help others if you can. But that's about it. I'm Tom.
I'm Trae.
It's the Carver Ave Chronicles podcast. We're out. Peace. Thanks again for listening to the Carver Ave Chronicles podcast with Tony and Trae. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. Definitely subscribe wherever you get your podcast for future episodes.